Shall I start again? Please, sir. Okay, let's start this again. That was a good test run. Way to start the last meeting. Okay. I call to order the regular August 7th, 2025 meeting of the LFUCG Ethics Commission. We have a fairly long agenda today. We have at present a quorum. I'm going to have to recuse myself from the first advisory opinion, so awaiting another member of the commission, we will skip that first item on the agenda. We will also move the chair election to the last item on the agenda prior to adjournment, so that we can make the new chair-elect effective as of the end of this meeting. So let's start off by looking at Advisory Opinion 2025-005. This is a request for which confidentiality has been waived by the requester, Joseph Hale. It was submitted in your packet. Mr. Hale was invited to attend, or Councilmember Hale was invited to attend. I believe that he felt that his request could stand as submitted. We don't really have the opportunity to ask Councilmember Hale about the request, but at the same time, it seems pretty self-explanatory. Has everyone had a chance to read it? Okay, I think it would be appropriate under the circumstances for us to discuss it in closed session, to entertain a motion to go into closed session. Does someone want to make that motion?
I move to go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61.8101F and KRS 61.8101J as discussion of AO 2025-005 may lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an employee, member, or officer, and contains the deliberations of a quasi-judicial body regarding individual educations.
Thank you, Brenda, for that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trace, thank you for the second. All in favor of going into closed session, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We are now in closed session. We are out of closed session. I will entertain a motion from the commission to address the advisory opinion 2025-005.
I move to, that we instruct counsel for the city to draft a letter reflecting the commission's opinion that the appointment of Councilmember Hale's wife to the Environmental Commission is not in and of itself a violation of the Ethics Act, and yet Councilmember Hale should not or should abstain from, recuse from voting on that appointment, and that otherwise her acting in that capacity is not in contravention of the Ethics Act.
Thank you, Kerry, for that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nathan. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda, we've got approval of 3 different advisory opinions from the past few meetings. The first one is approval of AO 2025-001, which was part of the packet. Does anyone have any comments or questions as to that one? And I do not know with each of these whether confidentiality has been waived or not. It's not reflected on the opinion, so please keep that in mind when offering any comments. If we do need to go into closed session to discuss any of those, please just make note of that. Any thoughts or comments, or do folks need some more time to review? I will entertain a motion for approval then of this advisory opinion.
I move to approve AO 2025-001 as drafted.
Thank you, Kerry. Do we have a second? Thank you, Brenda. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on our agenda is approval of advisory opinion 2025-002. Same precautionary statement about confidentiality. Does anyone have any comments or questions on this one? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve advisory opinion 2025-002 as drafted.
So moved.
Thank you, Kerry. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trace. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No problem. Motion carries. Even the support of the music. Final advisory opinion for approval is AO 2025-003. Same precaution about confidentiality. Any comments or discussion? Or need more time? I'll entertain a motion for approval as drafted of AO 2025-003.
So moved.
Thank you, Trace. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nathan. Any further discussion? All in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we've got approval of minutes, and we have a collection of minutes. They are from the February 6th meeting, February 26th, March 24th, May 1st, May 20th, and July 10th, if I have properly counted them all. If folks want some time to review, please let me know. I did find just a little here and there. Okay. So, and since I've got the ones with the page numbers at the bottom. Do you have those? Yep. Okay. On page, let's see, 34, very top, ethics complaint with a T. And then on page 46, the last full paragraph there, Chair Singleton introduced the next item, discussion to amend the previous complaint process. Complaint process, yes. And Mackenzie, did I identify correctly all of the minutes? Thank you.
Sorry, the pages end up being different sizes. I don't know how that happened. I tried to fight with the printer too. 52, first paragraph. The date of the meeting. That date to be
No,
10.
good eye.
Maybe September.
Certainly.
So it says on that same page, page 52, that the subcommittee approved the minutes from May 20th. And so are we approving them again? It's like it passed subcommittee and now it's coming to the general body?
That's what I figured.
Yes, I think
Okay.
that's the smart thing to do. At a minimum, it shows that you guys are reviewing it as well, seeing what the progress is.
Awesome. Thank you.
And so it may not be technically necessary, but I think at a minimum, your all's approval shows that you're seeing what we're doing. But Trace, I take your point. How can you approve something that you didn't, that none of the rest of y'all attended? So maybe for those, we'll say, approve and or acknowledge. Has everyone completed their review? And if not, that's fine. Okay. I would propose that we accept these as a slate. We can certainly, if anyone objects to that, we can go through them one by one. But I would entertain a motion to approve and or acknowledge the minutes from the meetings of February 6th, February 26th, March 24th, May 1st, May 20th, and July 10th. As amended, correct.
So moved.
Thank you, Trace. Do I have a second? Brenda, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Thanks, everyone. Okay, we are, as I suggested, we are going to change the order of the agenda that is presented so that the chair election comes at the end. So that brings us to the ethics tip line report. Gabby?
Also, I don't know if you all saw over there, but the pages with the percentages on them shrunk, so there's copies over there that have the right size on them.
They shrunk.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna argue with the printers.
That's totally understandable. I believe that there was, so in terms of the ethics tip line, we looked into this and apparently the name comes from an ordinance, so we can't change it from the ethics tip line to something else, such that when it comes to us, the ethics tip line is set in stone, but not everything that people report falls under the Ethics Act. And so as a result, just because something, there's a tip that comes into the ethics hotline, a lot of times apparently it's concerns that employees have or other members of the public that don't necessarily implicate the Ethics Act and therefore don't even involve us. That being said, Gabby, I don't think that there was anything that even fell within our jurisdiction. Is that correct?
That's correct. I didn't see anything that fell under anything that we had to address.
Does anyone have any questions about that? Or about the report itself this time? Hearing none, we will go on to the next item on our agenda, the financial interest statement review. Mackenzie, what news have you for us?
Hello. So we only have 12 that are missing. 6 of them are from people who've retired or left the government, which is a little hard to navigate because it means that if they aren't currently working for the city, I have a bit of a harder time tracking them down. I can't just be like, call them up and be like, hey, where are you? So I'm working on that. We do have one council member who hasn't turned one in yet. I sent out letters in May and in July, in August. No, in July. In July that said, hey, you haven't turned in your financial interest statement yet. Please get that turned in. And we got a, flurry of letters the next day that were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't turn this in. The next letter that's going to be sent out will be after this meeting. It'll be like next week. It'll be a certified letter this time, and that'll go out to the 12 people who haven't turned it in yet. And then the next one will go out in October, and that will not be just a letter saying, hey, you haven't turned your financial interest statement yet. It's a letter saying you need to come appear before the Ethics Commission. So that's where we are.
And in that regard too, I love the fact that we took the initiative earlier to set out a calendar and to give the staff direction and approval to follow that calendar so that we're not having to keep having Mackenzie and others come back to say, can we do this now? Can we do this now? So very, very good thinking in that regard. Any questions about the financial interest statements?
I have one. Is there a way that the city government could make an exit contact form so your life could be easier? Or is that
That's a really good question. Sometimes people will fill out, where they want their last benefits, put to, and then when people have moved, and so since they've retired, so it's hard to track. Yeah. So, we have one, filer who, she retired, and she spends her time between Lexington and Florida. But she spends more time at her Florida address, so she never left that address. So yeah.
You could also forward those names to the law department, and we'll see make sure somebody's not incarcerated or something. But
Okay. I don't think any of these people are. They seem
probably not.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
That may be something that the Ethics Commission might want to know about.
Right. We did have that one year though, so I can't say that it's never happened before. So just check. Yeah.
Any other questions about the financial interest statements? I will say that those will be signed by the next chair-elect and not me, because we come to the next item on our agenda, the chair election. Certainly anyone who's interested can put forth their name. I do know, and I would nominate him myself. David Blake would be interested in being the chair, and I think that he would do a good job. Certainly, again, anyone else who is interested in doing it. It is a little bit more work than just being an ethics commissioner. It is a labor of love. And David has been in the chair in my vacancy, as has Carrie. And I think that he'd do a good job. I would also suggest, as I mentioned, and it doesn't need to be decided today because it's not on the agenda, but whoever the chair is, that we give him or her a vice chair to not only be able to easily assume the role when the chair is not available or not available because of a recusal. And it would certainly make things easier for the staff who supports us as well, so that they're not trying to figure out who's going to be the chair if the chair is not present. Or is there anyone else who would be interested? David and I have communicated about it, and if not, he can resign the very next day. But yeah, I think that he is interested. I think he's willing. He's willing to do it. I think he'll do a good job. He'll take it seriously, as each of you do. So I would entertain a motion that the next chair of the LFUCG Ethics Commission be one David Blake. That his if so elected, that his tenure begin at the conclusion of this meeting.
So that's a motion?
That's a recommendation for a motion, yes.
Okay, I move for that.
So move.
Yeah.
We've got a motion from Carrie. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Nathan. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? David, in abstention, congratulations. Now, that brings us back to AO 2025-004. Do we know of any other commission members who might be showing up?
There was one who was supposed to show up, Laura was supposed to show up.
Okay. Have you had any contact with her since the meeting began?
Oh, no.
Okay. Do we know whether the advisory opinion is urgent?
It actually already happened.
That would suggest that it is no longer urgent.
So what we can do is schedule a special meeting. To hear it.
David can
What
do
has
that.
already happened? This event that they're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
So in case there's any future event very similar to that.
Yes. And we can schedule a special meeting to hear that, but we can also do it over Teams so that we don't have to come down here. So
In that regard, the next regular meeting, according to the agenda, is November 6th. Please have that on your calendar.
please, that's the one where we'll have orders to appear. So that's important.
Is there any further business? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn, but before I do that, I'd like to thank you for all the work you've done. I've been here for pretty much all of it, I think, and you've done an excellent job and devoted a lot of time. And I know it's a labor of love, but it's a very good service, and you've done an excellent job. But having said that, good luck to you.
Thank you, Carrie.
And I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Carrie. I've got a motion. Do I have a second? Thank you, Brenda. It has been an honor. I look forward to hearing great things continue from this commission. I think those like Carrie, he and I, as he said, started right near the same time, if not the same time. So your tenure is almost up too.
I need to get a ruling on that. It's gotta be, it's gotta be pretty soon.
But it has been an honor, and I appreciate it. Thanks for the support of the staff, the law department, everyone. Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Wait, do we have a second? Yes, Brenda seconded. All signify by saying aye to support the motion to adjourn. So moved, or all approve? All good? Any nays? No, thank you. Motion or meeting's adjourned.